John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry. John Brown was born on May 4th, 1800, Torrington, Connecticut. Brown was one of the most abolitionists. Brown married Dorothy Luskin in 1820. They had 7 children before her death in 1832. In 1833, he married Mary Ann Day. They had 20 children and 12 only survived. Brown saw a boy mistreated, so he decided to speak about it. John and his men attacked the U.S. Federal Arsenal at Harper's Ferry. John Brown led the raid at Harper's Ferry. Brown helped slaves escape to Canada. He helped hide and protect slaves as part of the Underground Railroad. Brown had a plan that slaves would rebel and fight against their masters. On October 16, 1859, Brown and 20 of his men went to a farmhouse a few miles away from the U.S. Federal Arsenal. For their attack, their first move was to cut telegraph wires, so soldiers could not signal for help. Then, they took control of the watchman. Lastly, they captured prisoners, including Louis Washington, which was a great-grandnephew of George Washington. Brown's men shot a train to stop it, but an innocent free black man who was the first victim of the raid. Brown's only route was lost. Also, half of his men were dead and some escaped. Brown and his men went to a small brick engine house. John Brown and his men were surrounded by an army of Marines under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Robert E. Lee. The Marines beat John unconscious. John was speaking about how slavery was bad. Instead of losing their slaves, the Southerners convicted and hung John Brown.